Oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna, oh, Donna. Whoa. All right, we love you, Paul.
Well, first I want to say I love you, Donna. And here you are bringing people together to gather again, and in your name, to do the good that we all know we still have to do, ongoing all the time. From the bottom of the P, bearing witness, for someone to know, as you did, what it was like for me to be a red diaper baby, and to go there was just one of the many wonderful things about you. And I just want to say thank you.
First, as being Donna's stepdaughter, I want to thank Robin. I want to thank Paul. I want to thank everybody who came together to put this together. It's truly amazing. So then, on another note, I want to be the daughter, the beautiful daughter that loved Donna. She was my stepmother. My dad was married to her. I don't know what years, but for enough years that I was like 10. And then I was 16 when they divorced. She brought our family to Millerton Point and to Point Reyes, where I spent another high school years and then left and then came back and raised my own children here until they were in the 8th grade. So I mean, we've been here for a long time, all because of Donna.
I met Donna in the early 80s at a birthday party in Marshall, where she fed me the Spam cake with potato frosting. And I basically stalked her for about 3 years because I kept running to her. I wanted to get to know her, and I'd run into her at parties, and she would completely ignore me because I was not important. I was from out of town. And we were at Clayton Lewis's 70th birthday party on Marshall Beach, and all the champagne was down in a bathtub. And I went down to open a bottle, and Donna was there and wanted some champagne. And of course, we started flirting with each other, as many encounters with Donna often started. And we ended up going back to her studio in Marshall, with my wife, her partner at the time, Alan Gregg, and we sat in her studio till probably 4 in the morning drinking warm bottles of Fritzonet that they had in stock, and talking about art and politics. And when I left that night, I thought, you know, I think I scored. I think I scored.
We were introduced and she said, I'm in love with your father. So I thought, well, does my mother know about this?
She made a huge splash in the world with her spirit, making a difference in things that matter for keeping our earth a better place, safer for all of us, in terms of the use of pesticides, and I'm really with her on all those things, and I totally applaud her for all that she has done for our communities. The world communities, really.
The most iconic thing she did in conversation with me was the whole idea about alpha male, beta male, and partnership, the partnership story. Really, that was the one thing we probably agreed on most, was the need for partnership.
Paul and Donna live next door to me in beautiful Lakeville. It's a Riviera by Petaluma. So today I made this. It is a tule that we made into a vagina in honor of Donna's memory. Now alongside of it is a pussy willow, but I don't know what to do with the pussy willow. Donna would know. That's all. I love you, Donna. I love you, Paul. Bye.
Donna was and is one of the most important people in my life. And she's not really dead because she can't be, because if she is, I am too. And I'm from the East Coast, and when I found out that she died, I called Paul and I broke, and I came out here, I flew out here for this, to find her, and I know she's here.
Memories I have is just going to her house, sitting down, just having talks, her telling me about how centered I am with my lines, and she would just always made me just feel special. And if I ever felt down about anything, if I felt upset, or I could just go to her, she'd show me. I brought girls to her house, and she never liked any, so I'm single. And I'm not gonna miss that, actually. I'm gonna miss bringing my future to her house.
Everybody knows the story of the red woman in the bathtub. Well, Virginia today was telling me the story of where that came from. She said that she and Donna discovered that the fisheries guys would get 150 pounds of herring every year, and they would cut the roe out of them, but they couldn't sell them, they were throwing them away. So Donna and Virginia went and got them, and they salted them, and they put all the roe in the bathtub, and Virginia jumped in the bathtub one day with the herring roe, which is why the seagulls are in there. Who else would paint that? A red woman in a bathtub with herring roe and seagulls. It makes perfect sense.
Well, her engaging personality and her kind of flair for life.
When you live here, you bump into her because she's around all the time. Not only physically, but her presence is. And I think that's one of the remarkable things about her. She doesn't have to be in your face to know that she's here. And she's done so much, and such a individual who gave of herself that you felt it at all times, and I certainly did.
Well, her beautiful soul and her vivacious spirit, and I did my nails like her today. Because she did the lovely little dots on her nails, and she was so loving and caring about the community, and I've only been part of this community for a year and a half, and she completely embraced me, and I'm her neighbor. I live right next door to her, or did, and when the bike riders would be going by, she would stand there and say, "Be careful," and she'd blow them kisses, and she just cared about everything living, from people down to the smallest little insects, and wonderful person.
And she'd go, "Okay, so who are you sleeping with now?" And I'd say, "Well, nobody." She says, "You've got to get out there. I want you out there, hunting." And so I said, "Okay, I'll try." So I've been trying more since she inspired me.
Donna was a heroine for me. Her courage and her grace. Well, I don't know how graceful she was, actually. In your faceful she was.
Graceful in your face.
But just the courage to be outrageous, but with the cause, with the mission. And really, she wasn't, I mean, I don't know, I think sometimes she was misunderstood, that she was just being outrageous. But I always got the message. I felt like I always received the message about what it was that was underneath that outrageousness. And I loved her for it.
What an energy. What a celebration of life.
I always remember the work she did with mow our weeds. So, you know, when the county was spraying on the side of Highway 1, and the activism that got them to mow instead of to spray. And of course, she started the movement with the naked people spelling out naked activism. And so those are always very inspiring for me.
Donna, you know, I got married because of you. I was at the Art Institute working really hard. All I wanted to do was work. And I would only go to a party if it was for art. And I went to this party and only on the condition that I could record it. And I put a mic under the table and I lugged in all of this equipment. And it was so long ago and I didn't have the sound tape. And I had to listen to the goddamn party. And I met this guy who was a friend of yours. And he took me out to this magical place called Tamales for a weekend. And he had a truck. And he could help me build frames. That's it. But then he introduced me to you, and to Paul, and to Bert. And I woke up, and I thought, a guy who has these kinds of friends must be a great guy. And I married him. And he was a total asshole, but we had a great wedding because of you.
We moved to Marshall about 5 years ago. And Donna was one of the first ones that we were introduced to. And we wanted to have a party, and then we had heard through the grapevine that we couldn't have a party until we met Donna and Paul. So we went to meet Donna and Paul, and I was nervous, oh, you know, what is this going to be like? You know, we have to meet these people. But the minute we walked into their home, we just fell in love. And there was a day before her birthday, it was March 31st. And she said, well, tomorrow's my birthday. And I said, well, are you doing anything? She said, no. I said, well, come for dinner. So I said, great. So she called a few hours before on her April 1st. And she said, can we come early because I'm expecting in town? So I said, sure, come early, come whatever. So they came for dinner, and after they ate dinner, she said, I gotta leave now because I'm expected in town. And so they left, and that was my first introduction to Donna, and we became dear, dear friends. And one of the things that she called me mom, you know, I kind of got the understanding that she had been taking care of a lot of people in her life, but I came into the latter part of her life, and I became her mom, and she always referred to me, oh mom, you know, because I babied her and took care of her and helped her out. And so that's my dear memory that I was her mom. Even though I'm 10 years younger than her, I was still her mom. And I just love that.
She was always trying to fix me up with a woman. I thought that was pretty good. No, she was an amazing, just an amazing person, I thought. And, just her whole sense of unity and what that really was.
It was a tiger, and I would credit her with single-handedly why they're not spraying chemicals along the road now. I helped support her through mow our weeds, and she proved, it took her 10 years, she proved that it doesn't cost a dime more to mow than it does to spray chemicals, and so, and then it became mow and sow, because it's like, okay, we're going to mow the weeds, but what do we ideally want to have going along the roadsides? And that's huge. And she opened the gateway to the whole state or the country to just say something to their county or their state road agencies to not spray chemicals. And think of all the estrogen analogs and all the chemicals and biocides that are eliminated because of this one woman. That's one thing. And then bearing witness, you know, women taking their clothes off, inspired by the women of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Getting women, hundreds of women all over the world to take their clothes off and spell words like peace or no war or no DUI. I mean, she had people laying down in the snow, clothed. But her picture of women spelling peace with their bodies went viral and went around the world like 3 times. And then just her whole erotica stuff. She's one of my profound mentors. And I've known her and been working and loving her closely for probably 40 years. That's probably I met her probably 40 years ago. Lived in her house. And I love this woman. And I wish her a wonderful, mysterious, awesome, sensuously delicious journey.
She was very straightforward. She was always going to tell you what was really on her mind and what you should do with your life. And there was always the finger pointing at you to remind you. So part of that was irritating at times and part of that was wonderful.
She had a very strong spirit. She was one of a kind. She genuinely loved people, you could tell. Yeah.
How do you think she inspired you the most?
She inspired me to open up and love people more, definitely.
What I remember the most about Donna is I was just amazed when I found out exactly how old she is. Because she is exactly like March in 1930. And my mother is June of 1930. And I couldn't imagine two people less similar than Donna and my mother. My mother is like Rite of Tea Party, and Donna is Donna. So I was always just thrilled, because that was always in the back of my mind as I hung out with Donna and Paul in the boathouse.
My husband and I were incredibly welcomed by Donna. Donna always smiles, says hello to the new people, and acts as if you've been there forever. And going out and eating with her was always a pleasure. Lots of laughter. Very good conversation, stimulating conversation, and also challenging. And she was willing to put me on the spot, and not many people do that, and so you appreciate people who do.
Donna was a totally unique person. There's never been anybody else like Donna. She was just absolutely fantastic person. We started the Gallery Route 1 together, and then she and I did a couple of shows together, and it was fantastic. And then we worked on some films together afterwards, and Donna was just an original, absolutely original, and we miss her dearly.
Well, I'd say almost more than any person I've ever met. She would just get into me right off the bat. She would just bring, okay, who are you, what are you doing? Life story in 5 minutes. But I felt really seen and heard every time I bumped into her, which sometimes was few and far between. But she had her container, her vessel for holding somebody else's life, just in her own attention and in her caring. It's amazing. Gregariousness, I envy it.
I'm a forester, and I was traveling along the Bolinas Lagoon, and there was a young man spraying herbicides, and I stopped my vehicle and got out, and he had no protective clothing, no mask, no gloves, nothing. I asked him what herbicide he was spraying and why he was spraying so close to the lagoon. And he didn't know what he was doing. He just was told. And it turned out that it was a violation of the legal regulations. So I told him he was endangering himself and to pack up and leave. And I called Gary Giacomini, the supervisor, and it made the newspapers. And then a woman named Donna Sheehan called me and asked me if I joined her group, which she called Mo, which was Mo Our Weed. My takeaway is that she had such great stick-to-itness, such great persistence. A lot of people get involved in various causes and they burn out, but Donna was true to it to the end. She stuck with it, and it's an important thing to stick with.
If she believed in something, she would just absolutely believe in it. She would never waver in that, and enthusiasm, and take it to the hilt. And no matter how depressing things got, for whatever it was, the cause, she just went forward with a smile on her face. That's very inspiring.
I just admired her outrageousness, and at the same time she was really sensitive, so she
somehow kept a balance between being outrageous and being real.
I remember that Donna was always like a second mother to all of our kids, and that she was a hoot, a character, and that she was an example of how to live your life and how to stay active and be involved. She was a lover of love, being in love and passion, romance. She was always trying to fix me up with somebody. She adored my son, who's now 40. We've known her for about 35 years. She was, I just remember when she had her own wake and had gathered people that might not have shown up together at that time. And then she opened the coffin and came out. So she was just one of the most unusual people I ever knew, and always full of love, and always made you feel loved. And you knew it when she walked in a room, and she acknowledged you when you did. So she'll be missed, as you can see. The whole town's here.
I ran into Donna for the first time in many years about a year ago in front of the Palace Market. And she said, "Michael, come here." And she pulled me in and said, "You know, I'm 83 years old and I have sex every week." That's what my last memory of Donna.
What I remember the most about Donna Sheehan was that she was always vibrant and excited about whatever it was that we were doing together. Whether she was leading me into something else or I was trying to get her to do something. I've known Donna since 1974, and I was 21 years old, and she was opening a gallery in Point Reyes Station, and she asked me, an unknown artist, to design the very first invitations for the show, and I was so blown away, and that started a friendship from, well, 1974. We danced around a lot of each other's lives for years, and she was always there when I needed a friend to talk to, and then she was always there when I needed a friend to have a good argument with, and we did.
You remember her when Donna Sheehan wore stockings, and that goes back a ways.
I knew Donna before she was painting, and Donna and I went to a kind of a painting class with a San Francisco character by the name of Sam Provenzano. And Sam lived in an old warehouse in North Beach. He lived and he had a studio there, which no longer exists. It's been torn down. And he had this huge warehouse space full of junk. And Donna kind of had come out of the travel business and wasn't sure what she wanted to do. And she started discovering art. Now, you all know where that ended up. But this was way in the beginning when she started to discover that she could paint. It was very exciting in those days, and we'd kind of go back in the back and pull junk out and build still lives. And one day Sam had us, he spread all this big paper on the floor, and he blindfolded us, and we had paintbrushes, and we were painting away blindfolded. And it was like, it was the beginning of her discovery of art. And as with everything else in life, you know, she discovered, I can do this, and I love this, and this is exciting. She and Howard moved into an apartment where she took over the living room and put a big table in there. It was her studio, and she started painting. And it really, you know, changed her life at that time. It was kind of neat.
Donna was, she gave a lot of expanse and language to love and sex, first of all, and then put a lot of, gave permission to put a lot of art in that world, in that direction. And I remember one of the most salient early memories of Donna was when she had her birthday party, which was her first funeral. And she built a beautiful coffin, and everyone arrived at the party, and she was in her coffin. This was probably 20 years ago now.
Donna let me wear blue eyeshadow. Well, a time when my stepfather wouldn't let me even have mascara on. He would check my eyelashes. Donna just let you be free. She let you be part of the gang. She was very community oriented, and it was really, she was a wonderful influence. But she was definitely different.
I think her legacy will be probably on maybe two levels. One here in West Marin and Marshall. Here is an activist who represented the community, who dared to express herself and she had such a personality that people liked her. She wasn't strident or wasn't moralistic, but she was a lot of fun, and so people wanted to be with her. They didn't necessarily agree with everything she said, but Donna was like their cheerleader for what was going on. And I think on another level, some of the stuff she did around women, like redefining seduction and looking at feminism in a slightly different way than the women's liberation movement did. Not opposed, but a little different. And its sexuality, it's the role of women, being open, basically saying what they want, and having a good time. And I think that's going to have an impact with women and whatever women's movement there is as well.
She's your classic example of a raconteur, you know, a person who stirs things up and provokes thinking and provokes ideas and provokes, and the human race needs provokers, needs people poking it in the ass, because the human race is sedentary and boring, and that was her job, was to, if she had a cattle prod, she would have been much happier. It didn't surprise me if she was born with a cattle prod, to just poke the human race in the ass, and that's what she was all about. I always felt energized when I talked to her.
As a relentless troublemaker, I'm kind of a reluctant troublemaker, I think, although I am one, but she was relentless. I mean, she'd start making trouble at the drop of a hat or the spraying of a cornfield or whatever. Or she saw something happening she didn't like, she made trouble, right? And that was good. And her targets were good, and she almost always had the right way to deal with it.
I went blind this year, and Donna did. I never talked to her since I was blind. Now, I won the lottery in a way because I got a really rare form of blindness, and so basically, what's good is I spill stuff on my shirt, I can't see it. I can't see what I look like. So that's good. But what I want to tell everybody is this. Your life has an expiration date. Donna was really special. Everybody here was really special because they knew her. Live your life to the fullest. Blind or full-sighted, whatever you got, enjoy it because it has an expiration date.
I think her legacy will be that if you follow your heart, you stay attuned to what really lights you up, where your passion is, and you relentlessly go for what your dream is. She could dream, she could imagine, she could envision, she could intuit. Her senses were, you know, through her art, she was fully, her whole body was alive. And so she could work with community, each individual like colors on a palette, and how to weave and bring the different colors together and challenge those colors to come together into a masterpiece. And that's, you know, whether it was, you know, Bearing Witness, the masterpiece of that, and the integrity of it and how it caught fire around the world. The radio station at the time was just going to be this little thing in a closet. Now, down the road, somebody in Africa, you know, Venezuela, you know, Bangkok can tune in and to the voices of our village. We had no idea at the time, but it was her intuition knowing now's the time to plant. You know, in agriculture, it's now the time to put the seed in. But it's what seed, what soil, what community, what is the right thing, and you can only intuit that, and she was intuitive. And so I think her legacy is trust your intuition, trust your heart, and stay lit up and only do what really lights you up, and the rest will unfold and the universe will support you.
Hi everybody, I've been told sitting here I look beautiful. And of course every woman wants to hear that, but I must say if I look beautiful it's because of where I live. And it's only by example can we all make a difference. And can one person make a difference? Yes, but two people can make a huge difference, much more than one. And those two people need to be a male and a female, a man and a woman.